edition. Welcome to Our World is a 3-level program for English learners between the ages of 3 and 5 at the pre-primary school level. We're excited to share a sneak peek with you so you can see the enhancements we've made to the program. And for those of you who are completely new to Welcome to Our World, we'll be providing an overview and unit close-up so that you can get a sense of the overall program curriculum in addition to the new features. Before we dive into what's new though, let's start with a short visual introduction to Welcome to Our World 2nd edition. So that's a visual preview of what you'll see in Welcome to Our World 2nd edition. And as you may have noticed, the video ends with the words, "The world is waiting." We want to prepare our children to enter this world that is waiting for them. Our youngest explorers will learn about their world as they learn English through real-world content. Of course, an important source of real-world content for National Geographic Learning is the incredible photographs in our programs. And on that topic, the photo you see on the screen is the animal on the cover of the Level 1 students book in the 2nd edition. Does anyone know what that animal is? It is a quokka. It's a marsupial native to Australia that is known as the happiest animal on the planet because it seems to be always smiling. It's one of my favorite photos, and that's why I have it as my background today. And it's another example of how we can all learn about our world through this 2nd edition. With this program, teachers will shape young global citizens not only through the real-world photos, but through traditional world songs that are really at the heart of the Welcome to Our World curriculum. The International Song Program was developed by Joan, and she's going to tell you a little more about that soon. Welcome to Our World 2nd edition also allows teachers to prepare young learners for school and achieve real communication through projects, games, listening and speaking practice, and school readiness strategies. And finally, the class presentation support and homeschool resources allow you to teach confidently and engage parents. So I will pass it over to Joan to give you a brief overview of the program as a whole, and then we'll get into what's new.
Hello, everyone. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm so excited that you've come to join us and to learn a little bit more about Welcome to Our World. The first thing that I want to share with you is one of the things that makes Welcome to Our World special, and that is the focus on shaping global citizens, which is so important for our young learners to grow into this world. We want our children to grow up and care about the world we live in. Of course, if we want our young children to grow up caring about the world, they first have to know about it. And this is the perfect time to introduce children to the world around them, as well as the world that's out there waiting for them. So this is why we introduce children to the world in a developmentally appropriate way through real-world photos, content, and videos. And this really helps them to be able to celebrate the diversity through these global topics. Another thing that makes this series special is, of course, the music program. So this is really what I think is the centerpiece of this unique series. It is the song program. And I feel that this is my baby. It's based on the International Children's Song approach that I developed specifically for this series. And we teach English through music, rhythm, movement with traditional children's songs from around the world. And I personally researched every song in this program and wrote the English lyrics for each song to create a fun and authentic way for children around the world to learn English while learning about other cultures. So this is a true labor of love, and I'm so proud of it. And I really think that your youngest learners are going to enjoy learning about the world through song. So as you'll see through, and you can see on these pictures, but also you'll see through our presentation, that children can sing along with students from real classrooms around the world for cultural exposure. And then also we have professional singers with the videos that they can sing along with, and it makes it easier for you to teach with this program. Another thing that I think we want to highlight to you about this program is, of course, songs are an authentic form of communication for children at this age. So not only are they going to learn about international songs from around the world, but also they learn through song the sounds of English. And that's really how children begin to learn language. And it's a beginning literacy skill as well, to build their phonemic awareness of a language. And so that's one step towards literacy in English. In addition, every unit, we provide an opportunity to communicate through the language in use lesson, which models real communication in English. And so we have very fun videos where students can get engaged with the video as well as see a model for language use. And through that way, we believe that Welcome to Our World can help your youngest learners achieve real communication.
And a final key feature of the Welcome to Our World program is that it helps prepare very young learners for school. So with the second edition, we've included school readiness in the projects, games, and activities so that children are also practicing the academic, social, emotional, self-care, and motor skills that are so important for children at this age. This feature also integrates key values instruction, and I'll go into more detail on that when we talk about the new features. So in order to determine what enhancements and new features to include in a new edition, we talk to teachers. Joan in particular has spent a lot of time in the field talking with teachers from many different countries, training them and learning about their experiences. So Joan, can you tell us a little bit about what teachers like about Welcome to Our World?
Sure. So, in talking with so many teachers around the world, of course, one of the first things that teachers say is that they really love the beautiful real life pictures combined with the beautiful illustrations that they felt was really appealing to very young learners. And of course, we're really lucky because we have access to National Geographic photos. And so it's amazing how we're able to bring the real world to the classroom. So that was one thing that teachers said was one of their favorite features. Also, teachers expressed that there are a variety of activities and visuals that they felt were all relevant to very young learners. In addition, teachers felt that the topics were really interesting and could engage children around the world in English. They also noticed that children could connect to diverse cultures through songs. And so we were really excited that that part of the program was really successful in teachers' eyes. And we also had projects. So teachers said that they love the fun and age-appropriate projects that go along with each unit. Here's a quote from a teacher in Japan that we thought would be great to share with everyone. The teacher said, "Your motto, bringing the world into the classroom and the classroom to life, is very true. Students aren't just learning English, but learning many things in English, and they get to learn about the world while sitting in the classroom." And here's another quote from a teacher in Greece. This teacher said, "I have been using these books for 4 years now, and I've seen amazing results with my preschoolers. I simply love them." And also, it's very important to get parents involved. I love that Welcome to Our World involves parents. And so, as we all know, there are many people involved with the education of our youngest learners. And so we were really happy to hear that teachers felt that it made it easy for them to get parents involved.
Thanks, Joan. So a lot of great feedback, and the program has been incredibly successful, but there's always room for improvement. So this list shows the requests we heard most often from teachers. They asked us to enhance the navigation of the student's book, to include animated mascots for language modeling, to provide more language and use practice, to expand projects to include more language practice. So a lot of requests for just additional ways to practice language. They asked us to provide more support and simplified instruction for teachers, offer additional support for parents, add online practice or a mobile app with games, audio, and video. And they said, what about students who need extra support? What can you provide for them? So all of these comments have resulted in enhanced and new features in Welcome to Our World, second edition. So Joan is going to start us off by telling us about some of those new features.
Yes. So one of the things that we really wanted to keep, but also improve on, is all of the amazing photos that we include in the second edition. So we have updated real world unit openers and lesson photos. So if you were familiar with the first edition, you would notice right away for this unit that we have a new photo. And so we wanted to really refresh it in order to make the book engaging. And, you know, if you are a teacher who's been using the first edition, you'll be excited to use the second edition with these new photos. Now, the other thing that we added is a new photo feature in the lesson planner so that you as the teacher can get to know more information about the photo to share with your students. So here you can see in this photo, the girls in this photo are dancing in the annual parade of the Madeira flower on the island of Madeira, Portugal. Anybody from Portugal here recognize this? This festival is held every spring. It is celebrated with parades, concerts, and flowers, of course. And so this way you can help your young learners also get to know the world a little bit better through these photos. Let's take a look at this next one. Here's another updated photo and the unit opener about our world. And so you see in this photo, it is in Guilin, an area in Guangxi province, China. And Guilin is known for its beautiful scenery. The mountains in the background of the photo feature many amazing caves and underground waterways. Is there anyone here from China? So what's amazing about this real world photo is that it helps to teach all of the vocabulary in the unit just in that photo. I find it to be an amazing photo to teach English. And in the next one, you can see, well, it wouldn't be National Geographic if we didn't have amazing animals from around the world. So in this unit opener about wild animals, we have refreshed this photo, and you can see here these two male lions in Kenya, Africa. I don't know if anyone here is from Kenya, and you can read about these lions and share them with your students. So we're hoping that these new photos are going to engage your young learners, every single page of them. Now, we also have new lesson and song art. So we're really excited about the illustrations. You know, when we originally created the illustrations in the first edition, we tried to get art that represented places from around the world and represented different art styles. Now here we're excited because, as you can see in this illustration, we can show one part of the world. Can anyone see where this illustration is? Can you guess? All right, so you might notice that this playground illustration is in Brazil. Aha, Rio de Janeiro. All right, so by the way, not only are we showing Brazil in this particular illustration, but in this unit, the song actually comes from Brazil. And the song, which is in English, is based on a song popular in Brazil, and it's called O Piau Entrou na Roda. I don't know if I have grossly mispronounced it, but the song in English goes like this. I can run around the playground with you. I can run around the playground with you. What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? I can jump around the playground with you. I can jump around the playground with you. So it's a fun song. The original song comes from Brazil, and the illustration depicts that. Okay, and then in the next slide, you can see some other samples of illustrations. So on the left side is a story at the beginning, middle, and end, and the illustration represents China. And on the right side is another song, which is, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, which of course comes from the US. And so we have an illustration of Yosemite to represent the United States. And so this is another way that we try to bring the world into the classroom through Welcome to Our World. Next, you can also see another new feature. Now, this is just for teachers. So we did get feedback from the first edition saying that from teachers that they really wanted more signposting and direction lines. And so we feel that we could create the signposting in a way that provides helpful labels for the teacher without taking away from the beauty of each page. So here you can see the concepts. It's in the red box. And on the other side, the practice, so that you as the teacher know exactly what the page is and what to do. Listen, point, and say, and stick and say the color. So that is there for you, all of you teachers, to help you teach more effectively from our books.
Thanks, Joan. And I love that we could get you singing for us with those illustrations. Another new feature is the review section that you can see on the page here. So teachers wanted more opportunities to consolidate learning. So after the first 4 units, we have a review activity and a game, and both include the vocabulary, concepts, and language that children have learned in units 1 through 4. Then after unit 8, we have another activity and game to review what was learned in the second half of each level. And as Joan was just mentioning, that even the illustrations in the program depict real world scenes, this illustration for the review activity is a nice example of this, because through the window, you can see a view of Lima, Peru. And I know I saw there are some participants from Lima here today. So this is just another example of how even the illustrations are bringing the world into the classroom. So as we mentioned, many teachers asked us to include more language and use practice and more opportunities to apply language. So that's exactly what we've done. We have the language and use lessons in the student's book with models and activities that allow children to use the vocabulary and concept words in natural, functional contexts. Now we've also added a page in the activity book for additional language and use practice. Teachers also specifically asked for animated videos to model language. So we've included a new language and use video for every unit. in which the series mascots model language from the lesson. So let's take a look at the video that goes with the unit shown here about stories.
Language in use.
What's the story about? It's about a king and a dragon.
At the end of each video, there's an extra visual, often something a little surprising or funny that will draw children's attention and provide additional opportunities to apply language. You saw the giant appear at the end of this video, giving children a prompt to go beyond the language model about the king and the dragon and talk about the giant. So as they go through the units, we hope children will have fun looking for these extra visuals that they can point out and use to extend language practice beyond the language model. We have also updated the projects and integrated them into each unit. They used to be at the back of the book. Now they are at the end of each unit, just after the language in use lesson. So the projects are theme-related crafts that get children using the language they've learned in the unit, but teachers wanted more ways to use the project to apply language. So we've added a new section in the lesson planner after each project's completed. It's called Apply, and it's an opportunity for children to use whatever they've created in the project, in this case, a dragon, as they apply language. So here they sing the unit song and they move their dragons around each time the dragon is mentioned in the song. Then they use their dragons with flashcards to create their own story and to answer the question, what is the story about? So we heard the requests and we've added many more opportunities to practice language in the second edition.
Yes, and speaking of hearing the requests from teachers and also from parents, we've added some new features that will make it much easier for teachers to use the students' books, as well as for parents to get a lot out of them. So first of all, a new feature in our students' books is including the scope and sequence at the beginning for an easy reference, so that as a teacher, you know exactly what's in every single unit, and also for parents to know what is my child learning about in this class. In addition, since we have a chant and a song for every unit, we also included in the student's book each chant and song for the unit, which makes it, again, easier for teachers, but also if parents want to practice the chant and the song with their child, then they will be able to do so much more easily with these included in the student's book. We also include in the student's book these 3-step routines. Now, this came as a result of some feedback from teachers wanting to just have more instructions for how to carry out lessons from each page. And so we didn't want to distract students from what's on the page, because we wanted our very young learners to be able to focus on the beautiful illustrations or the beautiful photos or the activities that they're doing on the page. But we can make it easy for teachers to be able to use these 3-step routines. And so these are actually included. If you can see, I have an example of a book right here. And in the back, there are, of course, stickers to use in the activities. But on the back of the sticker page, you can see that we have these 3-step routines. And so I love the fact that they're on the back of the sticker pages, because we're saving paper, which is good for the environment. but also it gives easy access and these 3-step routines do align with the types of activities we have in our lesson planners, and those go in a lot more detail, but it can be a quick way to pick up a page and be able to go through these 3 steps to provide an effective lesson. And as you can see here, we have a 3-step lesson for the vocabulary, for teaching the concepts, for teaching the song, and for teaching the language in use. And so hopefully teachers can use these routines. And by the way, we also have accessible online teaching routines. So if you are teaching your students in a blended classroom or online, we have 3-step routines that will work for you as well.
Thanks, Joan. So speaking of the lesson planner, this is a view of the lesson planner in the 2nd edition. Teachers loved the lesson planner, but they wanted it to be simpler and easier to use for quick reference and class prep. So we've streamlined the design. It's very easy to follow with the navigation panel at the top, which provides all of the essential information necessary to prepare for the lesson. It lists a clear objective, the new and review language, resources, and materials. And about the photo box, as Joan mentioned earlier, provides interesting information about the opener photo and about other photos throughout the unit. And as those of you who've used the program know, many activities in Welcome to Our World focus on teaching through total physical response, or TPR. So as you may know, TPR is a method of teaching language that uses physical movement to react to verbal input. And it's a wonderful way for young learners to build receptive understanding of language. So we've simplified instructions for TPR and activities that require movement by replacing long explanations with simple line drawings so that teachers can see very quickly at a glance what children are supposed to do. As I mentioned earlier, Welcome to Our World helps prepare young learners for school. We've added the new feature called School Readiness, which, as I mentioned, incorporates social emotional learning, academic skills, motor skills, and self-care skills into the themes and activities of each unit. For example, when children are learning the words for feelings, they also learn to name and understand their own feelings and to be sensitive to the feelings of others. Within the school readiness notes, and particularly the social emotional learning and self-care activities, we have integrated values instruction. So children learn key values such as share, take care of your things, dress yourself, take turns, be kind, work together, try again. So this is a wonderful new feature in the 2nd edition for whole child teaching that I think teachers and parents will really love. Another new feature was the result of an expert panel meeting where we were showing teachers from various countries a sample lesson planner unit from this new edition. And a teacher said, "I love all of the activities you have here, but they assume that all children can do them. What about children who need extra support?" So this was such a great question, and it prompted us to work on a new feature for differentiated instruction. We already had challenge activities throughout the units for children who were ready to take the language a step further. Now we've added a feature called Modify for Success to modify activities and provide additional scaffolding for children who need extra support. So for example, as you see in the note on the screen, if a child's not ready to use new vocabulary to answer questions, they might modify to answer a yes/no question instead. It might also mean modifying a physical activity for children with limited mobility. So if children are learning the verbs run and jump and demonstrating those actions through TPR, a child with limited mobility might use flashcards to demonstrate understanding, or might act out another verb such as play by playing with a toy while seated. So these types of notes are included throughout the lesson planner to give teachers ideas about how to modify activities for differentiated instruction. And so the tips for adjusting instruction to support different types of learners are connected to specific activities, but some of the simple suggestions can be applied as needed throughout the units. So here are a few more examples of the boxes in context. These are a couple of simple notes. There are some school readiness notes on this spread. And we also have teacher tips throughout the lesson planner to help with classroom management. So as you can see, we have added a lot of extra support for teachers in the lesson planner. And moving on to the most exciting part of the program, Joan is going to tell us about the updated video support we have.
Yes. So one of the things that we really thought was effective in the first edition was all the video support that we provided. But we heard from teachers about additional videos that they would like. And so we've updated the video support that we provide for Welcome to Our World. So in scene 1 that you can see there, this is an example of one of the new videos that we're providing for every single unit. And so this video goes with the unit opener, where children are introduced to 2 or 3 target vocabulary words, and the video features the unit opener and the photo that's there, and introduces the unit theme and then the images of the target vocabulary words with audio. And in the second scene, which is called Listen to the Song, this is something we included in the first edition, and we found that teachers really love to use it because you can sing along with children who come from around the world. So we actually went to classrooms and filmed children singing the song, and you can get to know the country of origin a little bit better. And it's really interesting, actually, to see classrooms from around the world. In scene 3, this is an example of a new updated video to present vocabulary with audio and with animation to present and reinforce all of the target vocabulary for the unit. In scene 4, another update. So we have a sing-along video, and in this segment, we present the unit song, and it's sung by professional singers, and provides a clearly enunciated model for children to use when they learn the song, as well as the gestures that they can follow along with. And we know that the gestures with these songs are very important because, one, not only is it more fun to sing the songs with the gestures and movement, but also they help to make the vocabulary comprehensible because they're connected with the meaning of the words. And it also helps with retention of those vocabulary words. So, scene 4, sorry. Scene 5, you can see the concepts, and this is also a new video clip. And so here we have a new video with audio and images to present and reinforce the concepts in each unit. And then the last one, scene 6, you can see the language in use. And we already saw a clip of that where we have an animated video that provides a model for the communication that children can follow. And they all find it really fun to see the modeling with the animation. And in the animations, actually, it features our little mascots that you can see throughout the unit. Okay, why don't we show a sing-along video? And here's one with our professional singers that your children can follow along with.
All my clothes are blue. Blue, 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 blue. All my clothes are blue. My shirt, my pants, my socks, my shoes. Blue, 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 blue. All my clothes are blue.
Red, 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 red. All my clothes are red. Red, 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 red. my clothes are red. My shirt, my pants, my socks, my shoes. Red, 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 all my clothes are red.
Yellow, 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 all my clothes are yellow. Yellow, 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 all my clothes are yellow. My shirt, my pants, my socks, my shoes. Yellow, 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 all my clothes are yellow.
Okay, did you like it? I think all of those singers are so adorable, and I think that your students would really love to sing along with them. Now, you can see here an example of the lesson planner where we provide all kinds of support to be able to teach the songs. And so there's the steps to do the warm-up and to present it. We also have information about the song with Around the World. So this is originally based on a song popular in Germany, and it gives you some instructions to introduce that this song comes from Germany, and you can show a map. The other thing is we really want teachers, even if you're going to use the video support, which I think is an excellent way to engage your young learners, you also want to be able to teach and sing along with students, learn how to teach the songs step by step, and also learn how to add additional support to students as they're learning the song. Here you can see that we provide instructions also for the sounds of English, because we're using these songs as an initial step towards literacy by building phonemic awareness. And so we identify a particular, sound of English that you're going to teach with the songs in every unit. Now, on the right side, you can see that there are additional videos to help teach the song. So there's a song overview, where I explain exactly where the song comes from and the meaning of that song. And you can hear the original song sung in the original language, which you can use with your students too, which helps them to see a little bit more of the world. And then there's the Learn the Gestures, where I help you learn to use all of the gestures that go along with the song. And then after you teach your students, they can sing along with the professional singers and do the gestures with them. And finally, another teaching support video, which is about teaching the song. And like I said, you might use the videos with your students, but you yourself should also learn how to teach that song step by step to scaffold the learning of the songs. And so I give you some tips for teaching the song as well. So hopefully with all of these resources, you will be able to feel confident teaching this part of the program, which your students are going to love. All right, now another area of support, professional development for teachers. So we actually have the website, the URL is right down there, eltngl.com/ourworldpd. There are a lot of PD videos that I've made that teachers can get freely. And so all of that is accessible to you. So those free professional development videos are for teaching young learners of all ages, including very young learners, using Welcome to Our World. By the way, you can just access them to help you improve your teaching of very young learners and young learners. There's also downloadable teacher training materials. So you can use them as a teacher, but also if you're a teacher trainer, and you want to use the videos to be able to help your teachers learn these best practices for teaching young learners, there's handouts and also instructions for engaging teachers in the learning of these best practices using the videos. And if you have already seen this website, we've refreshed it with new teaching videos. By the way, I'll just tell you some topics for videos related to teaching very young learners in Welcome to Our World. We have videos that talk about using songs with very young learners, but also hands-on games and movement games, song games, picture card games, flashcard games, making puppets, using puppets with very young learners. And I also have a video about making and using Play-Doh. And it kind of looks a little bit like a cooking show because I actually teach you how to use the ingredients in your kitchen to make Play-Doh for your very young learners. So hopefully you will find these free resources helpful to be able to carry out this program, Welcome to Our World, effectively.
Thanks, Joan. That it's an incredible amount of support that you provide for teachers on that site. Really, really useful information. So a very exciting new feature of Welcome to Our World Second Edition is the new classroom presentation tool, which integrates digital resources such as video, audio, and interactive activities and games in the context of the student's book and activity book pages, making it easy to carry out lessons in any classroom or online. It's available for online streaming from a browser in USB format or as a download for offline use. This allows teachers to have all digital and print resources integrated in one place. We also have all new online practice with integrated ebook for students. So this is available for online streaming as well, or in an app, and gives students access to all of the online practice activities and games, along with all of the content, audio, and video from the student's book. So I have a couple of short video clips to give you an idea of how the classroom presentation tool would work for a teacher and how online practice would work for a student. So here we have a unit opener in the classroom presentation tool. All of the digital resources needed to teach the unit opener lesson are available by clicking hotspots on the screen. So by clicking the play button at the top, you would start the Listen to the Song video, which is the video that Joan mentioned about its children in the unit song's country of origin, singing the song in English. You can click on the track numbers to get the audio for each activity. By clicking on the second play button, you open up the vocabulary opener video. And if you click on the dot icon to the left of a direction line, you open up an interactive activity. In this case, the unit chant in a karaoke format. So let's take a look at how some of the hotspots would work. So this will show, if you click on that dot icon, opening up the karaoke version of the chant. I don't have the audio playing, but you would hear the audio and you could follow along with the lyrics. Clicking on the play button, you can open up that unit opener video. You can also view it full screen. We're viewing it in a smaller format here. And from here, you can also click to the corresponding activity in the activity book. So if you click at the top right of the screen, that would take you to the activity book lesson. So the activity book can be used, it can be assigned as homework or it can be used in class. The lesson planner has instruction for how to teach these activities in class. And once children have completed their work, you have the option to display the answers so children can check their work. You can also move through the activity book by clicking on these arrow buttons on the bottom right of the screen. So if you wanted to go on to the next lesson, you could click through. This is the song and the sounds of English activities. And again, you could display the answers once children have completed their work. And you can also then, if you're ready to go back to the student book page, you again would click on this button at the top right. That would take you back to the corresponding student's book lesson. So everything that you need is right on the screen. You don't have to go searching for your videos or clicking around to find what you need. Everything is right at point of use, making it really simple to teach. This next little video clip shows the online practice for students. So this is the view on a mobile phone app. And when students click into the unit, they can see what's the activities that are available. So they'll always have a unit opener video, they'll have the vocabulary video and some practice activities, usually a flashcard activity or a multiple choice activity. There's the unit chant in the karaoke format, the unit song video, sounds of English practice, and concepts and language in use videos and practice activities. So they could go in and they can see what's been assigned for homework, and then they can go and complete those activities. So this clip shows an example of a vocabulary activity where students respond to an audio prompt and they choose the correct answer.
A bug.
So they can see if it's correct with a little check mark. If they get an answer wrong, they would get an X. They can go in and play a game. So this shows a coloring activity where they practice the colors learned in the concepts lesson. They have an audio prompt.
A purple bug.
And they color in the item, and they can go through their various activities that combine the vocabulary and the concepts here. So that's a quick overview of how these online platforms work. And we'll look at some additional examples of the digital resources available as we go through the unit close-up. So we're going to look at a full unit in the context of the print students book, as well as how it would look in the classroom presentation tool.
Okay, so this gives you an idea of what a full unit looks like in Welcome to Our World in the students book. So you can see the unit opener, introducing the theme of the unit, and then lesson 2, the vocabulary presentation, where then we teach all of the vocabulary in the unit. And then moving on in lesson 3 on the next 2-page spread, there's vocabulary practice, as well as then the song introducing the sounds of English with that. Lesson 5 is that concepts presentation, where we have certain content in each unit that we teach there. And then on the opposite page, lesson 6 is the concepts practice. Then lesson 7 is the language in use, where there's always an activity in addition to communication practice, which we spoke about before. And then the last page of the unit is the culmination of all of that with the project page. And so now we can take a look. Kristen?
Sure. So that's the print pages. And then this is a view going into a level in the classroom presentation tool. And we're looking at unit 8. So you would click on the unit tile for the unit you're teaching, and you'd have the option to go to the student's book or the activity book. If you click on the student's book, for example, you'd get a table of contents with all of those lessons that Joan just showed you, and you would click on the lesson that you are going to teach.
Mm-hmm. And so here's what it would look like in the student book. In the unit opener page, and that's where students are introduced to the theme, but also 2 or 3 of the target words in that first lesson. And then in the second lesson, the vocabulary presentation, and that shows you all of the target vocabulary for the unit.
So that same spread in the classroom presentation tool provides all of the digital resources that are associated with that spread. And as I showed you earlier, you can click to get access to any of these resources right from the pages, the chant that we looked at earlier, the vocabulary videos and the listen to the song. And you also have an interactive game to practice the vocabulary, and you could open that up on the screen and play with students.
And then here again in the students book, the next 2-page spread. So you see lesson 3 is that vocabulary practice. And here we're giving children the opportunity to actively work with the target vocabulary, but also there's always a pre-writing skills activity. So where students can match by drawing lines, or sometimes it's tracing, sometimes it's connecting the dots. But here we're hoping to give students at this age an opportunity to develop their fine motor skills, in addition to the vocabulary practice and checking comprehension with that. And then the next page is lesson 4, which is the song page. And here students learn the song and then practice with the sounds of English as that initial step towards literacy.
And again, all of the digital resources, an interactive practice activity to go with that vocabulary practice page. On the song page, you can watch the video or you can open up a karaoke version of the song to go through with students.
And now here you see the next 2-page spread, which focuses on the concepts that we're teaching in the unit. So on the left side, you see the concepts presentation, and these are concepts from science, math, language arts, and they're reinforced through a variety of activities. And so here you can see we're teaching the colors, pink, purple, orange, and green. And I just love the way we're not just teaching the colors with just the circle with the color in it, but in a real photo showing these flowers that have all of those colors represented. I just think that it's such a engaging way to get students into the concepts. And then on the next page, there's a concepts practice where they practice and show their comprehension of the concepts. And this is always a sticker activity. And so the stickers are in the back of the book, and children can use those stickers to show their comprehension of that concept.
So online, we have the corresponding activities. You have concepts activity, and an activity that mimics that sticker activity that you can do online, dragging and dropping the images that would be the stickers to the correct colors. You can view the concepts video as well from that page.
And here you can see the language in use activity page. And here we try to encourage students to use the target vocabulary as well as the concept words in natural, authentic communication. And so here on this page, you can see that children also get a chance to color as well as to say the communication modeled by our mascots. And then on the opposite page, this is the culmination again, the unit review and the project. So here's another opportunity for students to practice the language that they learned in the unit while doing a fun craft. And of course, we know if you can do hands-on activities with your very young learners, it's a great way to help them learn.
So for language in use, when you're online, you have a fun game to play to practice the language in use activity. This is a matching game that you can open up from this spread. From the project, you have the option to display the project steps one at a time by clicking on the interactive activity. That just gives you each step of the project so children can follow along. And you have your language in use video as well.
Okay, and so actually we have these review activities after the units 1 through 4, and then again after units 5 through 8, and it's another opportunity to provide additional practice with the concepts and target vocabulary then learned through a few units. And so we have the activity that you can see on the left side as well as a game. So children love games, and I know teachers love to play these games with their students.
And you have an additional option of an interactive game online. So it mimics sort of what you're doing in the game on the student's book, but it's a little different, just giving you some variety, something that you can do online with students, as well as an activity to practice what's on the review page. So that was a pretty quick overview, but that gives you essentially what's new in Welcome to Our World 2nd edition. It's a lot of information, and we do want to have time to answer questions. We have a few more slides that show just kind of a summary of all of the components, but I think maybe we'll save those, that we might use them to answer some of the questions. I know Emily wanted to come on and I think has been sorting through some of those questions and has some more information for you.
Definitely. And thank you both for this great session. A lot of wonderful responses in the chat box. And thank you everyone for being here. A few questions that have come up I've seen. One is from Sonia asking about any puppets that are available. Do either of you know any more about that?
So there are punch-out puppets for each of the mascots available in the student book, at the back of the student book, that teachers can use. And there are suggestions in the lesson planner for using those puppets to model language and using different voices so that students can get an idea of how dialogue would sound.
Great. I do see a few questions about getting the app, and I mean, just to clarify for that, and feel free to pop in, Kristen here too. Please contact your local National Geographic Learning representative, and you can learn about getting it for your institution, but it is available in the App Store, and then it's also available in your web browser too. Right, Sonia just said, I'm just looking in the Q&A box, that she actually didn't mean stick puppets. Are there any other types of puppets available?
Those are the only puppets that we provide with the program, the ones in the student book.
Great, thanks for clarifying. A question from Denisa is about how does she go about downloading the songs for the students?
Sure. So all of the song audio and video is available on the teacher companion site. And I have a visual of that site here. Oh, let's see. I think I've gone too far. So this is the teacher companion site, and all of the resources that teachers need are available here. So we have the audio, we have the video, pacing guides, the stickers, the puppets. So this is where you would find that, unless if you're using the classroom presentation tool, you would have everything available there at point of use. Students also have the option for the ebook, and that also includes all of the audio and video for the program.
That's great. Thank you, Kristen. The only other question I just see in the chat box right now is about the certificate, which we will be sending along to everyone within 5 business days. That will be emailed to you along with a recording of the session and the PDF of the slides. If anyone has any other questions, you can feel free to put them in the Q&A box now. But otherwise, I think we're just about at time. We can wrap up. I'll keep my eye on it. Just a few notes as we wrap up here. First off, thanks everyone for joining. I hope you found this session useful. If you're a current user, I see a few questions coming in. Okay, Ryan Chu. Kristen, I'm not sure if you can see this question in the Q&A box, but he's asking about any documentation outlining the differences between the first edition and the second edition to use for parent consultations.
Sure, we do have a lot of information about what's new in the second edition, so we can get that to you, Ryan.
Yeah, and Ryan, we can follow up with you specifically about that, and also happy to put you in touch with our local representative where you are. So I'll make a note. And I just see a few questions about purchasing the book. Just to again reiterate that if you are interested, definitely contact your local National Geographic Learning representative. I'm actually just going to put that link in the chat box to our rep finder, where you can find the representative where you are, and you'll have all their contact information there to learn about getting a copy for your classroom. All right, I think we're right on the hour, so it's a good time to wrap. Again, huge thank you to our 2 presenters today for doing 2 sessions. We do have another webinar this week. It's a really nice follow-up to this session, and it will focus on school readiness, which was a key feature in this second edition of Welcome to Our World. So if you're interested in attending this session, you can register on our webinar website. I'm just going to put the link into the chat box now, so you can all check it out. But it's a professional development session where Andrew Tiffany, who's one of our teacher trainers here at National Geographic Learning, will give tons of interesting tips and strategies for getting your very young learners ready for school. So we encourage you to come to that one if you're available. And great, thanks again. Please be sure to connect with us on our social channels, follow our InFocus blog, and check out our full webinar archive. I'm going to direct everyone to a feedback survey now. We'd love to hear what you thought of the session, and we hope to see you again soon. Happy
Thanks,
teaching, everyone.
everyone. Thanks for coming.
So much.
Bye, all.
Bye.